Bonjour à tous. Hello everybody. Welcome to my channel. I'm very happy that you are here. As I mentioned in the About tab, I really like visiting cemeteries including necropolis, pantheons, and even catacombs. I feel calm walking between the graves knowing that the site is the final resting place for all these people who had lived. And big cemeteries often are good parks to stroll around. Also, if there is a resting place of a person of historical importance, I must go and see. My favorite cemetery in the world happens to be the most visited burial ground in the world, attracting around 3.5 million visitors every year. It's Père Lachaise Cemetery, or La Cimetière de Père Lachaise, or simply La Père Lachaise in French. Today, I will show you how to navigate this popular cemetery and find the tombs of your choice. Let's go. Allons-y. The cemetery of Per Lachaise opened in 1804 and takes its name from the confessor to Louis XIV, Father François de Lachaise, or Père François de Lachaise in French, who lived in the Jesuit house on the site of the chapel. The easiest way to get to Per Lachaise Cemetery is by taking the metro. The cemetery is located on lines 2 and 3 of the Paris metro system. From the metro station on your way to the main entrance of Père Lachaise Cemetery, you will see the war memorial on the outer wall of the cemetery along the Boulevard de Ménilmontant. The names of 94,415 Parisians who died in combats are inscribed on dark blue steel plates that are 280 meters long and 1.3 meters high. Père Lachaise Cemetery is the largest cemetery in Paris, France, at 44 hectares or 110 acres. It's beautiful and the atmosphere is serene but stunning at the same time. I find that the combination of famous graves, hunting statues, ornate landscaping, and photo-worthy cobblestone lanes make this place really special. Graves, tombs, monuments, and a columbarium are placed over 97 divisions and 110 acres. It might not be that easy to find the tomb of a famous person you are looking for. So, I will tell you how to locate a few or a dozen tombs you want to see at Père Lachaise Cemetery. You actually need a little bit of preparation before your visit to save your time. First, you download a Père Lachaise map on your phone, or of course you can print it. Most Père Lachaise maps, if not all, list the names of the famous persons and the respective locations of their graves. As the cemetery is divided into 97 divisions, you will find the exact number of the division where a specific grave or tomb is, as well as an approximate location of that grave or tomb in the division. If you can locate and group a couple of tombs you want to see on the map, it will save your time and steps. For example, if you want to see the tombs of Frédéric Chopin, Jim Morrison, and Molière, you can see Jim Morrison's tomb in Division 6 first, before going to Division 11 to visit the tomb of Chopin, then the grave of Molière in Division 25. By grouping the tombs as per their respective divisions, you will not be going back and forth on the hill. Okay. Whether you are a fan of The Doors and its head singer Jim Morrison, or you are simply curious, Jim Morrison's grave is one of the greatest attractions of the cemetery of Père Lachaise. When I first visited here many years ago, I absolutely felt like visiting this grave where one of the best rock legends was resting in peace. Now it became a habit, so I go to see his grave each time I go to Père Lachaise. It is a pilgrimage site for fans from all around the world who come to pay their respects and leave offerings at his final resting place. Jim Morrison lived the last few months of his life in Paris before being found dead in his bathtub at the age of 27. A few weeks before his death, he went to visit the cemetery. He wanted to see Oscar Wilde's grave, which was one of his idols. That is when he decided he wanted to be buried next to Wilde and to all the grave figures that rested in this cemetery, and that's why he is at Père Lachaise. Frédéric Chopin's tomb is one of the top 3 most visited tombs at Père Lachaise Cemetery, along with the Jim Morrison's and Oscar Wilde's. There always are visitors by his grave. Chopin's tombstone features the Muse of Music Euterpe weeping over a broken lyre. It was designed and sculpted by Auguste Clézignac, renowned French sculptor of the 19th century. When you advance towards the crematorium, there is Division 87 where the columbarium is located. The columbarium is composed of 4 levels, 2 in the basement and 2 exterior levels. Together, they can contain more than 40,800 cases. There you can find the resting place of Isadora Duncan, who was a pioneer of modern contemporary dance, at box number 6796. Maria Callas, the legendary opera singer, also was entombed here. Her box number is 16,258 at the first sub-level. Not far from the columbarium, there is Division 89, where you can find Oscar Wilde's memorial and tomb. Not only Jim Morrison, but also am I a big fan of Wilde. You would see what a witty writer he was in The Importance of Being Earnest. If you want to read a real Victorian Gothic, I recommend Wilde's only novel, The Picture of Dorian Gray. It had been a tradition to cover Wilde's grave with lipstick kisses, but now there is a glass wall that keeps people from getting that close. But as you can see, there are thousands of lipstick kisses from the pre-glass wall time. When you continue cobbled lanes, you will arrive at slanted Division 97, where you will find Edith Piaf and her husband's tomb. The most famous and popular French singer of all time, whose songs include La Vie en Rose, Life in Pink, and Ima l'amour, Hymn to Love, had a very difficult life, from growing up in a brothel and singing on the street for money to the death of her longtime lover and a spiral into alcoholism that led to an early death at the age of 47. She died of an aneurysm on October 10, 1963. Her death caused a great stir in the country. More than 40,000 people gathered at the Père Lachaise on the day of her funeral. It is also estimated that nearly 500,000 people were present along the funeral procession to pay their respects. Once you get to Division 97, it's not difficult to spot Piaf's grave because there always are people by her grave. And by Division 97 on the east end of the cemetery, there is Le Mur des Fédérés, or the Communards' Wall in English. It is a site where 147 communards, the last defenders of the workers' district of Belleville, were shot on May 28, 1871, when Paris refused to capitulate to the Prussians in the brief Franco-Prussian War. That day was the last of the Semaine Sanglante, Bloody Week, during which the Paris Commune was crushed. Near Le Mur des Fédérés, the Communards' Wall, there are monuments in memory of the deportees to different concentration camps during the World War II, including the monument in memory of the deportees to the Auschwitz-Birkenau camp and the monument in memory of the deportees to the Bergen-Belsen camp. It's so interesting at the cemetery that you may lose track of time. But don't worry, starting around 5:40 or even before, the security people drive around the cemetery and tell you that it will close at 6 p.m. sharp and you got to go out unless you want to be locked in the cemetery overnight. It is totally worth visiting. When you go to Paris next time, I hope you remember to visit the Père Lachaise. I hope you enjoyed today's promenade. Okay, I got to get going. I'll come back with more useful information about Paris next Thursday. I hope to see you again next week. If you have enjoyed it, please do give this video a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it. Please subscribe if you want to see more of my weekly videos. Thanks so much for watching.